Okay, hello, Yvonne Gabauer here again. Sitting in my studio with Karen Burchell, and we're doing some brainstorming on different ways to make stamps and impressions and marks on your papers and all of that kind of stuff. And we've been having some fun over the last couple of weeks, sending each other back pictures of what we've come up with, and you'll never guess what I found or what I used. Anyways, in our last video we did the foam stamps, and I'd lost my ball and I couldn't find it. And of course, as soon as we were done filming, I moved one piece of whatever we had sitting here and found my ball. Anyway, so if you were watching the last video, here is the little plastic balls that she, or it's half of one I guess, that she found at the one of our dollar store type stores we've got in town here, and this is where she cut apart, and she'll show you that in a second. She's got her stuff all set up here to show you what she's been doing with her heating and getting some stamps. So yes, I found my balls. My missing balls are found. So there, I will let Karen Burchell, who is the co-host here, hostess, take it away, and she will show you what she's got going here.
Okay. Not my own idea by any means. Using the heat tool and different kinds of foams to make stamps and impressions, background stamps like that really look wonderful on your page. Right down here we have some stamps that are on a piece of a letter, foam, 7 cents at my dollar store, and I cut them up, and I will show you how we make that in just a minute. This was from my sister-in-law's glass case, the case from her glasses. So one of the things, either the letters, which this is all from, or the kneeling pads is my latest find. It's a little softer foam, but it works just as well, although there is the chance of melting it. And you can use both sides, because the amazing thing with this heating tool, it will get rid of anything that's there. So if you make a stamp and you don't like it, you can get rid of it and start over. So we're just going, I have a piece of that one here, and I have some things that I had ripped out from, it was a garden stake piece, so I am going to just put them on here once I heat up the foam. So we'll just heat up the foam, and it doesn't take long. The kneeling pad, because it's lighter, will tend to melt around the edges, but it works equally well. And it kind of picks up a sheen on it. Now you have to move very quickly, and I'm going to kind of put it on while it's still, while I still have the heat on. There's not much time to arrange, and you press. Press into the foam until, I don't know, till you think it's cool, till you think it's there. And then you can take them off, and you have an impression there. So let's see what kind of impression. I've not done this one. So we'll do, again, with too much water. Inktense blocks. Press. Oh, too watery.
But that gives a nice watercolor effect, though. So that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah, it depends what you want. And the thing I find with this, it's very unpredictable. That one's much better.
Yeah, I like that.
A little bit drier, finer mist, and we can just go like that. And so it's easy. Now, anything that you find you can use on here. For instance, we have the piece of the ball.
Different design.
Different design. And I'm going to just prove to you that this texture disappears. I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up, but you'll see that it will not be there once we print. Of course, you could actually use that as a stamp as well. I'm going to focus on the one end here because there it goes. Now get that and press. When I first made this, we actually had the ball still in the round shape, and we rolled it on thing. So there you have
cool
the stamp. And let's just give that a try. Because I always think people are showing me just what really works. You're in the moment.
Yep.
And again, you can use both sides. And there you have it.
I like that one.
And I love mixing the colors with the Inktense blocks
Yep.
on there. Now, having said that you can use anything, Yvonne showed you about pressing into the foam, into the light foam. That's how I got that stamp. I heated it up and I just took my round objects and wine corks and anything just to make an impression. So you have the bubbles. This one,
That's the wall.
we have the ball, the other ball that's from here. Again, we rolled. And the other side was another one of this one. Kind of thing. So it goes on pretty easy. Now, this stamp, you will not believe what made that stamp. IKEA grater,
Cheese grater.
which I use now for my Inktense blocks to make dyes and sprays.
No longer uses for cheese.
It's no longer for cheese, and it just made a absolutely lovely
I love that
design. So that one was like one of the best moments. One other thing that I have discovered that you can use back using thinner fun foam. Then again, this was the cheapest stuff in a pack, using the embossing folders. So heating this up, putting it in, closing it up, and putting heavy weight. I use my bigger block, acrylic block to press in. And you get the stamp. So let's just, we'll show you that that works. And again, not going for perfection here. The sky is the limit.
like
So,
that.
so again, on deli paper, using it, gluing it on, collaging it as a background. Here I did different embossing folder, Cuttlebug on the harder foam. I just pressed one side of it, and the other side, I pressed the other side. So I have a positive and negative of the same stamp. I don't know, what's this one, Beehive?
honeycomb.
Honeycomb, beehive. So again, we have the positive and the negative on the stamp. Again, pressed in. And if it doesn't work, you don't get an impression over the solid thing, just reheat it and it's good to go. Now, this one was actually bubble wrap.
Oh,
Heating it up
seriously?
and pressing bubble wrap into it. So,
Oh, cool.
and I only have a little one, but, and again,
Oh, very cool.
oh, apparently I had brown on here before. I'm thinking, what made mud? Blue and whatever doesn't make
Whatever
mud,
was on there before.
kind of thing.
Uh-oh, did I cover everything up?
Another one, I think we're just going to make one here. We'll go on this side. And the other side of the letter was sparkles, which are don't affect anything. So what I used is some mesh. So we'll see if this orange bag mesh.
Bags.
I was at school and we got some goodies at school, and I went home with all the packing stuff. When I went to the dollar store and I was looking for the letters, and I found them, and she said, "What letter are you looking for?" I said, "It doesn't matter, the one that has the most area." And she said, "What color are you looking for?" "It doesn't matter, the one that has the most area." So put it on, and you got to work fast. Press down. And again, if you had a bigger acrylic block, you would get the whole print. So you can always cut the block to the size that you want. And let's see if it worked.
Oh, yeah.
We have texture.
Yep.
Kind of thing. So really, again, you are only limited by your imaginations. You know, use those embossing. I wanted to buy embossing folders, and I do not have an embossing machine. So I Googled and found out what I could use them for. And there's another one from the embossing folder.
Oh, that one's pretty.
And I said, that was back in the day when I didn't have my actual heating tool and I used my hair dryer. So you don't even need a fancy heating tool. It works equally well with the hair dryer. And I think that's it. Or do we want to make another one?
Do you want to try one with this?
Sure.
Let's do that.
And there's our hairband, because, you know, we need to have at least 5 different ways of printing that.
So in the last video, we showed you where I actually just put ink on the back of that, and it worked as a stamp itself. We're going to show you in another video where you can use it as a mask. Spray through it.
Got to get bang for our buck.
Absolutely. Literally for our buck.
And pressing in.
For our $1.
They now know me well at the dollar store, and they ask me what I'm using it for because they know it's not being used for the purpose of which it was created. And, oh, that looks like it might be an interesting print.
Oh, yeah.
And the thing is, since they're perfectly washable, a baby wipe can wash them, especially if you're using stuff that's going to come back to life. Ooh. Yeah. In stereo. In stereo.
Yeah, we've already determined on the last video that whenever you create something new like this, you have to make the sound, you know, either the oohs, the ahs, or the ah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And my sister-in-law had done a whole painting, and she did the whole background of just one stamp. And that was her starting point, and it looked
Nice.
awesome.
Nice.
So,
There you have it.
there you go, what you can do. The cheaper Fun Foam, the thin stuff, works. You can make a stamp with this.
Oh, here. We did it with this.
The thicker Fun Foam did work. This, I think it's a
It was a mesh.
silicone-
Some kind of a silicone mesh vegetable bag.
straining thing.
Yep.
And it made, you can see the pattern there. Do you want to make one? Here.
Here's the stamp that it made, right there.
Kind of
So
thing right
there's
there.
the...
So very
Yeah.
cool.
And it hardly looks like, quite honestly, I didn't think that it had worked when I did it. Because I looked at that and it is raised such a minute amount, like it's crazy. And Karen said, no, it'll work, because it's the same as, so when you do these in your embossing folders, you're not going to see a huge raised area. I mean, honestly, you can barely see the design on there. But look what it does, though. I mean, it still works. It's awesome.
It
It's
does, I
awesome.
find, work better with the Inktense blocks or an ink pad as opposed to the acrylic paint or the
Oh yeah,
craft
you wouldn't.
paint.
I don't think you'd be able to do paint with this, but an ink pad, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, because you would just take my handy dandy little. Oops, I'll move this one out of the way. I don't want to get. And we'll just do one edge of it here. Oopsie. My poor StazOn needs to be inked up again. I don't know if you guys found my StazOn ink pad worked great when I first got it. Worked for a long time, never had a problem. But as soon as I had to start re-inking it, yeah, it doesn't last long and it has to be inked again. It's not that dark, you know, so if my ink pad was actually inked up like it probably should be, you're still going to get that impression, right? You're still going to get that impression. And quite honestly, when I do my backgrounds and I stamp on them afterwards to add that other layer of texture and depth to my pages, this is really all I want. I don't want something that's going to jump out of the page. I want something that's going to slide back into the background and become part of the page, not become part of the focal points.
Just going to try this.
Oh yeah.
I want to try like puzzle pieces. I need to get my hands on some puzzle pieces and smaller Lego, but I had this, so we're going to go give this a try because it's here. And my kindergarten teacher will want it back. And part of the fun is you never know what it's going to look like. Some of the things that you think are going to make awesome textures for you don't, and vice versa. So trial and error, the foam is totally reusable. This is good because you can actually have something to press on to.
Exactly. Oh,
Interesting.
that's going to be kind of cool.
So,
Oh, you're going to get the Mega Blocks, I think.
yeah, that's exactly.
Oh,
Little
maybe.
circles with actually the Mega Blocks. I'm going to just grab a pair of scissors. Oh. Not my craft room, not my...
Yeah, I didn't give her the orientation before she started, so.
So there we have that. A little bit of a spritz. Some water bottles give a finer mist, I
Yeah.
find, that are better suited for
Yeah.
different purposes. That's what I tell myself, because I have about 6.
Well, the Mega Blocks didn't come out, which is
No.
okay, but that's still a kind of a cool.
You know, and the Inktense blocks are really thick, so if I was doing this, I'd probably put it onto the
Yes.
the background here and put it on there, or
Yeah.
or in my silicone.
Yeah.
Where did I put this one?
Yes, that's an excellent
I
idea.
find that this one worked really well. It's got some bounce to it, and I found when I was mixing either my craft paint or my Inktense blocks, this really worked well. So again,
It's who actually bakes on their silicone craft or their silicone mats, right? I mean,
So
the
there you
craft
go.
mats, right?
and even the texture on the background, I love how this
Yeah, that's very cool.
came out. You know,
Very cool.
so
Sort of a marbling effect with that one.
more things you can do with Fun Foam. You can find these blocks. Sometimes you can buy blocks like that, and you can have a different stamp on every side. Yeah.
Yeah, these were letters. These were like O's and R's and whatever letters she bought. And then just cut them into whatever size she wanted for her stamp. Yep.
And then just have tons and
Yeah.
tons and tons of printing. There's that one done on the thicker foam, and then I flipped them over and I got there.
Yeah. So yeah,
There's the
lots of ideas.
big bag there with the
mesh.
mesh again.
Yeah.
So again, look through your kitchen, look through your cupboards and find all
Go to the
sorts
dollar
of
store.
strange things, because like I said, this was one of my greatest finds, because who would think that it would give such a wonderful pattern?
And I have one of these, and I don't use it as a grater, so it is so coming into my craft room.
Dual purpose.
Exactly. Exactly.
So
Alrighty.
go and have fun and post what you find that
Yes,
works.
please.
What kind of
Yep.
textures, because
Yeah, we're on a couple of different Facebook groups. The Journaling by 5 that Shannon Green started up. There's Art Journal Junkies, I believe is the other one that people have been asking us to do. And maybe what I'll do is I'll put some links to some of those pages in the comments below, when I upload these videos. So yeah, there we go. Onward and upward. We've got another one to do for you. See you in a bit.